You are listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
What's up, fight fans? Today we're going to talk about AEW Revolution that just took place in Chicago. It was a very highly anticipated pay-per-view. A lot of wrestling fans were tuning in because of this past Thursday's Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia with very disappointing outcomes. So a lot of WWE fans were actually tuning in to tonight's pay-per-view, and a lot of fans enjoyed it. So on the card, we had the Dark Order defeated SCU in a tag team match. Not really a surprising outcome with this match. The Dark Order is building up to be like, one of the darkest characters in the company right now. They haven't revealed their leader yet. The biggest rumor going around is that Matt Hardy is expected to join the AEW roster and be the leader of Dark Order. And there was also rumors going around that Raven, former ECW and WCW star, will be the leader of Dark Order. And also he was in the audience last week in AEW Dynamite in Atlanta during a Dark Order segment. So they show Raven in the background sitting down. So it's possibly going to be either one of those two, and or even possibly Luke Harper, former WWE superstar. So we'll see what's next for the Dark Order as AEW continues to give them a push. And also we had Dustin Rhodes take on Jake Hager, and Jake Hager's in-ring debut. Jake Hager, formerly known as Jack Swagger in WWE, had his first AEW match tonight. He is undefeated in Bellator also, so he is also a MMA star as well. Jake Hager won the match, putting Dustin Rhodes in an ankle lock, and it was a pretty good match. A lot of fans enjoyed it. Also, Darby Allin defeated Sammy Guevara. Darby Allin is only 22 years of age. He's already getting a big push from AEW, and Sammy Guevara is very young as well. Both of these guys are very young, upcoming stars in the wrestling industry, and their match was pretty entertaining, and Darby Allin defeated Sammy Guevara, just like I predicted. And also, we had a tag team match between Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega taking on the Young Bucks. Hangman Page is one of possibly going to be the face of AEW in a couple of years. I'm predicting he's already had a title shot against Chris Jericho in the past, and also Kenny Omega is actually a big superstar in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He's one of the presidents or co-presidents of All Elite Wrestling, so he's already a big star. And they took on the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are former TNA superstars as well. And this match was actually the best match on the card. Kenny Omega always performs great. He was one of my favorite wrestlers watching in Japan when he took on Chris Jericho in Japan, and even when he took on Chris Jericho Double or Nothing in Las Vegas last May, which was a very good match. But Kenny Omega, I knew he was going to make this match very good as well. The Young Bucks are also very exciting to watch. They do a lot of high flies and super kicks during their matches, and so is Hangman Adam Page. This match was definitely a 5-star match. A lot of acrobatic movements, a lot of technical wrestling, and a lot of hard knees and super kicks. So Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega retain their titles over the Young Bucks. And also Nyla Rose defeated Chris Statlander. That was a women's match, and that was the most terrible match on the card, honestly. A lot of fans were disappointed by it, and they weren't too pleased. So also we had MJF defeated Cody Rhodes. And in their biggest rivalry, MJF turned on Cody last year when Cody took on Chris Jericho at Full Gear. MJF kicked him right in between the legs. It was pretty much like a low blow. And ever since then, they've had a feud. They had very interesting segments leading up to this pay-per-view, especially a few weeks ago when MJF beat Cody Rhodes down with a belt, a leather belt, which is very painful to watch. And Cody took on MJF's bodyguard, the Wardlow, in Atlanta. in a steel cage match, and one of the best matches on Dynamite so far. So they've had a lot of interesting things that took place throughout their rivalry. MJF was bleeding through majority of the match. This match was pretty bloody. Cody Rhodes actually had a new neck tattoo, which is kind of very shocking. A lot of fans are dissing Cody Rhodes' tattoo, but I actually think it's pretty cool though. But MJF defeated Cody. I'm pretty sure they weren't going to let MJF just lose, because he's only 23 years of age, and he's the biggest heel in the company right now. He can possibly be the biggest heel in professional wrestling because he's doing a lot. He's earning a lot at a young age, and he has very great mic skills. So MJF definitely has a bright future in All Elite Wrestling. And also we have Pac. Pac, known as aka The Bastard, and also aka Neville in WWE, took on Orange Cassidy, which is one of the biggest stars in AEW. Orange Cassidy, is known for putting his hands in his pockets and doing his soft super kicks. But Pac defeated Orange Cassidy by submission. Orange Cassidy still did other wrestling moves other than the super kicks while his hands in his pockets and things like that. So Orange Cassidy is very exciting to watch. I think his gimmick is very unique. I think they need more catchy and interesting gimmicks like that in professional wrestling now these days. Especially in AEW. AEW is already a very great wrestling organization. I think they're the best thing going on in professional wrestling right now, as far as matches and promos and things like that. They're giving the fans what they want to see, and tonight's pay-per-view definitely delivered that. But Pac, no surprisingly, defeated Orange Cassidy by submission. And the main event, we got Jon Moxley, formerly known as Dean Ambrose, took on Le Champion, Y2J, Chris Jericho. So this is the main event right here. When Jon Moxley came to the ring, he was walking down the streets of Chicago all the way into the arena. I think it was pretty cool to see him walking down the street into the arena. I'm from Chicago, so I thought it was pretty cool seeing something the buildings and stuff around that area. I'm actually shocked that Moxley didn't wear a coat out there, because it's 29 degrees in Chicago, so I thought that was pretty funny. And when Jericho came to the ring, he had a choir sing his song Judas. And I actually thought that was kind of different. It was kind of funny, but the choir sung pretty well, the Judas song. A lot of fans in AEW actually love that song. They think that's probably the best wrestler's theme song in the company right now is Judas. So every time Jericho comes to the ring, they always sing the lyrics. So Moxley defeated Jericho. It was a very great match. I'm actually shocked they didn't keep Jericho with the belt until Double or Nothing in May. Moxley beating Jericho, it definitely is not a bad idea. If it was going to be anybody to beat Jericho for the title, I'm glad they chose Moxley. I'm glad they didn't choose anyone else the fans don't really like to give the title to. So I wish Jericho could have kept the belt a little bit longer, because he had a very great gimmick since he debuted in AEW. The champion gimmick is actually his best gimmick, throughout his whole career. His mic skills are way better, and Chris Jericho just a legend in the game. Period. He was always a great wrestler. But Jon Moxley, he won the belt. He said earlier today that winning the AEW title is going to be more important in his career than winning the WWE title. So I guess he feels right at home in AEW, and hopefully he never goes back to WWE, especially with the poor booking and writing that's been going on over the past year. So we'll see what's next. All right, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Let me know what you guys thought about AEW Revolution pay-per-view. Please press leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for listening to Boxagon Sports with Abraham Storns Jr., broadcasting the very best in boxing, MMA, and wrestling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.